Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Market Update. I am your host, Larry McCain with the American Financial Network. Thank you again for joining. I appreciate each and every one of you. It is a joy. It is a joy of mine to be able to connect with you each and every week or whenever you're able to tune in. I appreciate you all being on this journey with me. We are all in this together, folks. We are all in this together. And so I am thankful to have you along. Thank you again for tuning in. I hope wherever you are tuning in that you're having a great day, you're having a great weekend. It's, of course, another weekend here in our country. And hey, let's just get right to it. We are in week number 3 of just madness. I don't know how else to explain it. It's madness. And I say it's madness because, of course, we are seeing this war. It is predicated on false information. False information. We've been dealing with false information, folks, for what? Let's see. The last 7 years, fake news, we call it. They yell fake news to the real news is what it is, right? That's the old headwink. You know, disinformation has been around for quite some time. It's not something new. We just have a country that has been employing disinformation to its citizens for quite some time. The Russians and, of course, over in North Korea. And that's how they were able to really create a lot of madness here in America 7 years ago. And we've been living under it ever since. And unfortunately, we're seeing what happens when fake news gets, injected into our reality. It's just really, it's really ugly. And, we have to continue to pray for those in Ukraine, send whatever help we can to them. I mean, I just can imagine. I've been really tuning into the news. It's what I do. And it's just been very, very challenging to see what's happening. So folks, continue to pray. It reaches all of us. If you haven't noticed, this is a global economy. It is a global economy. Let's go back again to what I mentioned in 2015. Even further back from that, you can go into Europe, Germany. I remember the UK at that time. Everyone was talking about their nationalism and their country, and they wanted things to be their way, and we got to have things our way. And then, of course, it found its way over to America, and you heard America first, and every country wanted to be unique. They wanted to be adored. They wanted to be the special country. And what it did is just cause more separation, more division, more of that nationalism. And as we're all experiencing, I'll throw that chart up there, as you can see with gas prices, with what's happened here in the world with this war, it's affected all of us because we've been living in a global economy for quite some time. We are all in one planet. When carbon emissions are out there in higher levels, it doesn't just affect what country or continent it's being released. Eventually, it seeps over into the rest of the world because we are all in one. We're all in one planet. We're all in one planet. We have to learn how to live together. What we're seeing really is, it is just, it's unreal. It comes down to, of course, ego and fear. And ego and fear drives all of this madness. Just study your history and you'll see it. And we can combat that. And we'll talk about that and some things that we can do. But let's get back to gas prices. As you can see, gas prices are at record highs, and it's going to affect every walk of life that we're in. It affects, of course, crude. Well, I should say crude prices. It affects, of course, our heating. In the wintertime, folks have to heat their homes a lot more than they would in the summertime and summer months. And so we're going to see high heating bills, transportation bills, things that when it comes to building anything, it uses energy. And now we're going to see high prices for those goods. There's another chart I threw up there for you. Inflation, 7.9% inflation, folks. We are in, since 2019, we've just been experiencing some very interesting times. And I say 2019, go back to November, December, when those of us were watching what was happening over in Asia. We were seeing some of the early releases, the early films of what was happening at those night markets. And well, I say night markets. I used to visit those markets when I used to visit Asia, and I just thought, of course, naturally, I mean, there is some filth there, and you're thinking, man, what is this? And once it made its way over here, we're just about 2 years into it. What is that? March 17th, 2020 is when the world shut down, or at least our world shut down. And since then, it hasn't been the same. And so it's just very, very important for us to really stop and take stock in what's going on here and really reverse these trends and look at, again, it's a global market. What's happening over there in Ukraine, what's happening because of what's taken place with this unjust situation has driven costs up for all of us. And so we're all participating in this situation. And hey, this is just March. Wait until next month's report comes out. It doesn't even factor in the current hikes we're seeing in energy. It's just going to be another bad picture, which is why, as you can see there, we are expecting rate hikes. They've been telegraphing them. Of course, as you know, follow my videos from previous, you'll see that when these world events happens, naturally, initially, what central banks do is they want to make sure they keep liquidity in the systems, I should say, in the systems. And so they keep things moving, rates come down. They want to make sure you know, things don't get tight. There's not a run on the banks as you're seeing in other countries from the situation. But eventually there is a boomerang, and we're 3 weeks into this situation with Ukraine, and that boomerang, as you can see, rates are back to that pre-Ukraine level, and they're trending upwards because of inflation. Inflation's still out of control and being pushed by what we're seeing with this invasion. And so the Feds are going to be stepping in. Next week, we expect a rate hike, 25 basis points. It could be 50 basis points. Who knows? Some folks have talked about being, 75 basis points. I mean, they really want it to be a really high rate increase to kind of stem the flow of inflation. But again, with what we have going overseas, anything too significant would just put too much of a jolt into the market, and we'll have whiplash and it could be a problem. So I expect 25 basis points, could be 50. The market could absorb it. It's really needed. And so if you've been out there waiting, you got to lock those rates here pretty soon. It's coming. The drum beats are there. It is coming. It is coming. So get off the sidelines. My contact number is there. If you have any questions about the rates, if you have any questions about the market in general and you want to just talk through it, give me a call, shoot me a message. I receive lots of calls all the time. I mean, I love it. I was talking to an agent earlier in the week, a very successful agent in the Elk Grove area, sells lots of inventory. And her question to me was, Larry, what's happening? What's going to happen? And basically what I said to her, and I say to all agents, in fact, I want to speak to all agents at the end, as I tell them, listen, encourage your buyers to get into contract. Have them watch this video, even if they're working with someone else. It's a third party telling them how the market is, and maybe that will help push them to move forward, because we've seen this. This is our business. We know what's coming, and with prices being where they are, we don't see prices coming back anytime soon because demand is so high. This is their time before rates really get to a place where it just really puts a cramp in their purchasing power. And, speaking of agents, I have to pause right here, and I want to give agents some big props, especially agents who are either single moms, single dads, running their household and trying to also be a realtor. Folks understand this is not house hunters. It's not what you see on TV. It really isn't. These people are out there. They're working day and night. They're constantly connecting with folks, taking care of their clients, making sure things get done, doing their marketing. I mean, it's a full-fledged business. Hats off to you agents, especially those of you who are doing this as single parents. I've got lots of love for you with that. And hey, we're here to help you as well. So hats off again to agents. All right, folks, let's pivot over to the housing market and talk a little bit about what we're seeing right now in the housing market. Of course, we're in March, but we're going to look at some February data here. I'm going to put this chart up here so you can take a look at it, so you can see what the Sacramento region looks like, of course, from February 21 to February 22. This is a chart, of course. I actually pulled this chart from my good old friend Ryan Lundquist. You see his website there, sacramentoappraisalblog.com. Go there, folks. Lots of good information. Those of us nerds, we love to put tons of information up there. I wish I had more time. I would be putting lots of charts there, but there's a balance that we have to have. So Ryan does this. So go to his website and take a look. As you can see, there's an 18.4% increase from 2021 to 2022. The median price, $591. That's another high. The average price in general is 647. I was reading somewhere that the average price in just in the country is close to 430 or something of that nature, and it's trending upwards. So folks, what you can see here is that, you know, the market is very, very healthy. It's very, very, very healthy. Typically in February, you know, let me throw this other chart up here so you can take a look at it. Actually, you're going to see the in the Sacramento region again. I pulled this from Ryan's site here, but it's information you can get anywhere. But it's just I quickly gathered it from his site. What you can see here is, generally speaking, during the winter months, I would say from about October. Let's look at October of 20 or October of 19. You know, all the way into February, March of 20, you see there's always this decline. And then of course, inventory starts to pick up and demand starts to pick up. And, you know, there was a time, 2015, 16, 14, you know, 2013 was a different market naturally, but during those times where the market was turning back into its equity market from coming out of the Great Recession, we would tell many buyers, especially first-time buyers who had trouble buying homes in the summer because it was so competitive, don't you worry. Wait until November. Folks are focused on the holidays. We'll be able to get you a house. And we were able to get lots of folks homes during that time. Well, as you can see from the chart, it's just the lines are too close. Look at October 21 through current. The relationship is very, very tight from new listings to pending, which basically shows that, you know, good homes are going very, very fast. Homes are going fast in general, but good homes are going extremely fast. That's why it's very important, folks. If you're looking for a home, you need to get pre-approved, not pre-qualified, not just pre-qualified, pre-approved. That's when we submit your file through an initial level of underwriting through our processors to make sure we have everything we need so that when you do get your offer accepted, we can get it closed very quickly. And that is to your benefit. If you're looking for that kind of service, there's my contact information right there. Give me a call. We would love to help you. Listen, even though we're in the situation that we're in right now, globally, you know, things will change. There is a saying that, of course, you know, actually, I'll say this, you know, what really needs to happen is, you know, the digging effect. You know, when we find ourselves in the hole, we got to climb ourselves out of it. And we put ourselves in this hole, and we have to just come together as humanity. Come together as humanity and lift each other up, so that we can project better things in this reality. We can create a better reality for ourselves, our children, our grandchildren. And it's as simple as that. It's as simple as turning the channel. And so, but in the meantime, we're still, you know, we're still looking at inventory. And so the market is very important. You keep focus on the markets while, of course, we're doing our work to make things better here for the country. One more chart I'm going to throw up there for you to take a look at. This is kind of a summary that Ryan puts together, all good information. In fact, I'll have it up there so you can take a look at it all together. You know, as I mentioned, the median price is up. Of course, you know, listings are getting bid up, you know, to put pressure on pricing. It's still happening. For 20 straight months, we've had 1 month of inventory. that's well, again, that's about the COVID-ish period. So it coincides with about that. So, you know, we're still looking at ways. There's more information there to take a look at. We're still looking at ways to get back to normalcy. As I mentioned earlier, the key is having strategies to put your deal in front of others, working with qualified, great agents. We sent a new buyer over to an agent down in the San Joaquin area. And because this agent is well known, that weekend he got his offer accepted over someone else who was actually looking to put down $100,000 more than he was. It comes down to relationships. The agent does great business. His deals go through. Of course, our deals go through. It got accepted, and we're about to close here pretty soon. So, you know, that's how you get things done, folks. Connecting with great people. If you need someone to help you get your deals accepted, give me a call. You know, we can talk about what you're doing, talk about what kind of practices you have, and then I can probably connect you with some great folks. Not even probably, I can connect you with great folks so that way they can help you in this tough market. All right, folks, I want to pivot over to just a few more things to cover with you, some personal things. Naturally, I always want to leave you with something that's uplifting to help you through your week. And so this chart I'm going to throw, this image I'll throw up here. An eye for an eye only ends up making the whole world blind, by Mahatma Gandhi. Really what that says is that we need to show more love to each other. We need to show more consideration. We need to find ways to incorporate, to find ways to build resources together, to find ways to connect each other, because together rising tides lift all boats. That has always been true since the beginning of time. And of course, when we're trying to one up each other, and when we feel like there's not enough, when we feel like someone has something of ours, when we feel like we need to be nationalists, then we find that ourselves in this situation. So I encourage you folks, I encourage you all today, find some nature, get connected to nature, because that's where we go back to, because that's who we are, and just enjoy that moment, because it's a blessing. People are on the other side of the world wish they were in our position. So we need to just enjoy each moment. And then while you're enjoying that moment, pray again for Ukraine, pray for other people, pray for those who've offended you. I do that often. When I'm upset at something, initially the human side wants to have a reaction. You have to kind of play to that, but then you can check it and say, you know what? I bless that person. And I thank you that things are going great for them. And the more you do that, the more you'll build up the tolerance for it, and you're going to see a change in your life, because I've seen that change in my life, all together as well. And okay, I want to leave you guys with this last image here. I'm going to put it up. It really speaks to what we're dealing with. It really does. It really speaks to, kind of what we're seeing. There's many different eyes seeing things a lot differently. And it is true. We're definitely paying record high gas prices, and no one feels comfortable. But think about it for a second. We are pulling. The only way we can deal with this and without it being a world war, we're kind of in it to begin, and we'll talk about that next week, because there's a lot of cyber wars going on and everything else. But what will prevent a nuclear war is if we go this route, the route of sanctions, and yeah, it's painful. But keep in mind, Ukraine is fighting for democracy. We are a country built on democracy. We are the leader of democracy in this world, and we need to stand with countries who want to build a democracy. Democracies aren't perfect. I mean, look at our democracy. Right now, there should not be any politics. Look at this from the perspective. I say we're all doing our part. When we're at the gas pumps and we're paying more, yeah, it may be painful initially, but look at the pain that our brothers and sisters over in Ukraine are dealing with. And so we're doing our part to not subsidize blood money, so that we can in turn, teach, tyrants, you can't be a citizen of this world and get away with things like that. So I encourage you, stand with us, stand with all of humanity, saying that this is not right. Yes, of course, this is challenging, but as we're at the pumps, again, this is that time, this is an opportunity for us to say a prayer, for those in need. So I just encourage you, lift up the others, do your part happily, and again, find that place of peace so we can project a much better reality for our future. Thank you again for tuning in to The Market Update. I am your host, Larry McCain with American Financial Network. Again, I appreciate each and every one of you for riding along this journey. Continue to pray for me, pray for everyone. When someone comes in your mind, send a prayer. And let's hope that as each week moves by, we get closer to an end of this madness, and then closer more towards a place of togetherness for our world. Hey, I wish you all peace, wish you all safety, and I'm praying for you all. Take care, guys. Have a great week.